Yeah, even though I heard him say newly married. Okay, Dr. Pierce, did you hear the ideology response?
Of course, there was no mention of any ideology, but again, that's the problem with the country. He made a point, he has a question, why have governments failed in the past? Governments have failed in the past because governments have tried to run a structure that is not feasible. Simple as that. Until you get that right, you are going to continue to fail. That's why they have confabs. That's why they had the 2014 confab to discuss the reasons why governments have failed. And then the report came out that governments have failed because, one, there's so much disparity in the country, whereas some of which I mentioned earlier. Therefore, recommendation, we must have rotational presidency. Otherwise, nobody from the foreseeable future, nobody from the Southeast will be president of this country. Nobody from the Northeast has ever been president of this country. Therefore, these things must change. Fiscal change. Let the states control their resources, and also the states must have a great deal of autonomy. One of the reasons why you have insecurity so much in this country, give you an example of what happened in Benue recently. It's not Benue. Everybody is talking about what happened in Benue as if it's new. This happens every time across this country.
But
now, this is what happened. The state makes a law. The state makes a law, but the state has no power to enforce the law. The state makes a law, no open grazing. Who will enforce the law? Federal police. Federal police is working for the federal government. Federal government is not interested in enforcing the law. Therefore, you have a conflict between the state and the federal government. The state must have the autonomy so that they can develop the economy, and then they can develop, peace will grow. There will be progress in the country. That's an ideology.
Okay.
Restructuring is the ideology. Without that, we're doing the same thing we've always done. Conversation all over the place. What's new about conversation? Every election, we have a conversation.
Dr. Pierce
it's
is
not
a member
enough
of the
to
PDP.
talk. We must do something
Thank you very
practical.
much indeed. Back to you guys, Martha.
Well, you heard him. He says it's about restructuring, but just while you react to that conversation, I'm sure that Ajuri has a question for you.
Yeah, Dr. Okengu, you know, when we look at some of the vices that happen during elections, we talk about vote buying, we talk about rigging, we talk about some of these elements. A lot of them come down to a fundamental lack of belief on the part of Nigerians that they can, amongst themselves, come together and decide that they can take their future into their own hands. How do you, as a movement, whether it's your movement or whether it's the coalition, how do you get Nigerians to believe in their capacity to galvanize and to choose really who forms a government in this country?
Thank you. And that's very key. You know, you see, sometimes when we use this word ideology, we use it very loosely. Nigeria is a multi-sectoral, multi-religious, multicultural country. So you must be able to develop an ideology that is driven around what you can call deliverables, okay, that addresses everybody's challenge at whatever segments of life they are in. But what has happened again is that if you look at the electoral process, so when you're talking about an intervention movement, people are also forgetting that part of what this intervention means is that you must be able to now probably do a proper assessment, okay, of your political process, the role of the actors, not just the politicians, okay, but the support systems, your INEC. How come you have less than 15% of Nigerians, you know, coming out to vote? How come that you have less than 10% of what you call the Nigerian elite, you know, wanting to ever appear in lines to vote except that running for office? It's because you've not been able to now galvanize people into seeing politics as development, into seeing politics as the way to go, into seeing politics as the basics for national cohesion, and not seeing partisan politics. I'm trying to make that distinction, okay? That all of us do not need to go and join APC or PDP, but all of us must get into the conversation. I mean, look at Joe the Plumber. If you remember the story of Joe the Plumber in America, he became the issues, okay, around, because people are interested in knowing what percentages of tax, what are you going to be doing, how are you going to be doing it? Because everybody has this instrument, you know, that can be able to keep you in power or take you out. And one word you say could make or mar you. So the beginning point is to look at our political process. And I've looked at it. Those who are holding these, you know, voters' cards, those who are playing at this, you know, level, all-important level of now choosing who would become and who won't become. Our public procurement system is extremely skewed.
And you don't think the answer lies in restructuring?
The answer wouldn't lie. Even if you restructure and you also don't have citizens' participation, you haven't done it right. Same old things are happening.
Okay.
And then when you're talking about restructuring...
I'm afraid, I'm so sorry, we've run out of time. Dr. Emeka Okengwu is the Director of Strategy at the Nigeria Intervention Movement. Sunrise Daily will continue in just a moment. Please stay with us.